Tiga.
Hello everyone, we're from Group 8. We want to present about top-down policy analysis on the handling of COVID-19 in Indonesia. We have 4 group members, so it is our group member.
Hi, my name is Anggia Anggreswari.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Irfan Ramadan.
Hello, my name is Reyvanza.
And my name is Muhammad Yafi. So now let our present about our topics.
So, a top-down approach is used when management wants to improve overall reliability or does not know what the principal causes of problems may be. If a facility manager notes that production losses through anticipated downtime are increasing or maintenance costs for the whole facility have increased, we will probably call for a top-down analysis. So the value of the participative approach is featured extensively in literature on competence management implementation. However, the directive approach is in many cases equally effective, recognizing the contribution of external experts as a key part of a fundamentally different approach made predominantly by top management, and therefore it is more accurate to replace the term expert approach with the top-down approach. So I'll be talking about the advantages of top-down approach. The first one is breaking problems into parts help us to identify what needs to be done. The second one, at each step of refinement, new parts will become less complex and therefore easier to solve. And the last one is breaking problems into parts allows more than one person to solve the problem.
We saw several videos on YouTube regarding the handling of COVID-19 in Indonesia. And after watching the video, we see that since the first COVID-19 case was announced in Indonesia on 2 March 2020, the government has issued of various policies to deal with the impact of global pandemic, which is increasingly widespread. However, the coping strategies chosen by the Indonesian government tended to use the concept of top-down policy and rely on the central government because it depends on the government intervention, structure, and power. For example, to establish large-scale social restriction in an area, the local governor, regent, or mayor must make a request to obtain approval from a minister of health. That illustrates clearly that our government uses top-down policy concept that adopt the concept of command and control. The question is, why does the government prefer to adopt top-down approach rather than bottom-up approach?
So the government appears to be adamant about a top-down approach for at least two reasons. The first is the government appears to have excessive confidence, or in psychology it is known as optimism bias, to prevent or overcome the COVID-19 outbreak. This was especially evident in the early days of this outbreak in Indonesia. For example, the attitude of the previous Minister of Health, Terawan Agus Putranto, rejected the result of a Harvard University study in the United States because he was so confident about the inspections, standards, and the tools used by Ministry of Health to detect virus. Another indication is when the government believes that COVID-19 is not strong enough to live in a tropical climate and is able to prevent panic and unrest in the community by keeping some information confidential. Second, the government focused on the threat of an epidemic to the economy, especially investment in tourism, which is addressed by intervention from the government, not from the community. Therefore, based on all indication that we previously described and mentioned, we consider that the handling of COVID-19 in Indonesia tends to implement the concept of a top-down policy rather than a bottom-up policy.
The top-down approach tends not to open up much room for discussion from superiors and subordinates regarding organizational decisions in general. But isn't that what is needed if important decisions are to be made quickly? It would take too long to discuss together. Likewise with leadership in the military field. Indeed, not everything is negotiable. Another advantage of this approach is that the synergy of each team will be very dynamic because they all walk in predetermined path. Based on the video we saw and some analysis we did in handling COVID-19 in Indonesia, we see that the Indonesian government tends to choose the top-down approach compared to the bottom-up approach because the Indonesian government has too high self-confidence. In other words, optimism bias in handling COVID-19, and also because so far the focus of our government is the impact of COVID-19 on the Indonesian economy, which clearly requires direct intervention by the Indonesian government.
Okay, that's all
Thank you
for
all.
us. For our presentation. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.